Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Focus TV. It's obviously a special night if you're an NBA fan. One, the conference finals began. Two, most importantly, if you're a fan of a team that's nowhere near the playoffs, the Zion sweepstakes.
They never officially begun.
Hey, it is important. Obviously, John Moran in there too, but we're gonna see. I know we're gonna have an update as at some point before our show's over tonight. But we had quite a bit to talk about. Quite a lot has happened. All right, so we're gonna have another. Cardell started a segment maybe a week or two ago. AAU players and teams of the week. Gonna have find out who stood out this week. We got another edition of the 9-4-50 breakdown. Can you believe it's week 46 of this?
Oh gosh.
So shout out to Jamal Hayward over at 9-4-50.
Putting in work.
Putting in work. All right, then we're gonna recap the NBA semifinals and preview the conference finals. One of which starts tonight. The other series starts tomorrow night. So now that we got all of that out of the way, with the NBA in the semifinals, we had Portland. They beat Denver in 7. Toronto topped Philly in 7, courtesy of a Kawhi buzzer beater. Milwaukee with the gentleman's sweep over Boston. And the Dubs won it in 6, despite, losing KD. All right, so we're going to start with the Portland and Denver series. Just you guys' initial thoughts, while watching Game 7 and as that series wrapped up.
Oh, it was a great series, number one. It was a really good series. I'm surprised Denver let it slip away from them. They were up 17. And, Portland stayed poised throughout the entire game. They didn't give up, especially with Dame not having a great night. He ended with 13, but CJ McCollum was the hero of the game. 37 points, and he was just locked and loaded and zoned in and ready to go. The game itself was pretty close as far as statistics were, but the biggest thing that I feel like probably, Denver is going to look back on and look at is the free throws. Portland was 20 of 24, and Denver was 28 of 39, so they missed 11 free throws. Any one of those free throws could have saved them. People talk about it all the time. They're free shots. I know you're tired. There's, people screaming every 5 seconds when you get the ball, but those are the times you got to lock in, and every free throw counts, as they'll be able to see now. But it was still a great series. I like the fact that a lot of people finally really got to see Jokic play, because me and my boyfriend had a great argument about Jokic and Embiid. Mm-hmm. And I just had to let him have it, for a moment. Let them have it for a moment, because you see Embiid all year long. They've getting a lot of televised games. If you're not really watching different games, you don't know how special Jokic is. And I will say that after he watched more, he came back and was like, all right, you might have a point. But, that male pride, he still ain't changed his mind on who was better. But, But, I think it was a great series. It's a great learning experience for Denver as well. You got to remember, they got a very, very young core. This is going to be something that they're going to remember, and they're going to take with them as they continue on in their basketball career. So I definitely expect to see them in the same position, if not further, next year.
All right, Cardell, your thoughts on that series?
On the Nuggets and Blazers, I just feel like experience won the game. You saw in the Game 7, Nuggets had their chances. They didn't execute as well. Definitely didn't get stops. Couldn't stop CJ McCollum all night. And their inefficiency by some of their key players at that point in time at that game, when you have a home game, just spoke volumes. We could talk about C.J. McCollum. He was unstoppable all night. He had 37 and 9 rebounds, including the game-sealing jumper over Craig. But the thing is, he finished in the fourth. He had 8 fourth-quarter points and 6 points in the last 3 minutes. And this is why I talk about experience. Dame Lillard didn't shoot well, but he found other ways to win the game. And unlike a lot of guards across the league, he didn't try to shoot his way out of the slump and cost his team the victory. He recognized he didn't have it going. He saw CJ had it going. CJ, do what you do. Even Evan turning off the bench was, big. He was efficient with 14 to 7. Including his little clutch free throws with 8 seconds left. But Dame, he impacted the game in other ways. 10 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 steals. He harassed Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray didn't shoot well at all. And the thing I liked about it is, you know, they're cerebral players. That backcourt, they follow those guys. And one thing that they did, they picked on the guys that can't defend. I mean, Jamal Murray, it was bad. You know, it got real bad. And I don't care. This is why I feel like, you know, people that don't value defense are, you know, y'all made for the regular season, you know, at any level. Y'all made for the regular season, put up points and stuff, but y'all not going to win when it gets go time in the playoffs, conference tournament, or whatever you want, because you got to strap up. You have to. And they're going to make it a point to pick you out. They kept picking, rolling, attacking Murray all night long, and it just got bad to the point where he got frustrated and was out of his game offensively. And, you know, I mean, it's like CJ, it may sound like he was talking trash after the series, but he wasn't. He was keeping it real, like, they can't guard me. And he saw that real quick. I mean, Jamal Murray, you know, he was 4-18 shooting with 17 points. That was a horrible night. But the thing is, that's why I question, like, right now, is he a point guard, or are they trying to force him into being a point guard? Gary Harris had 15 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, but he was on 7-11 shooting. He was doing this thing. So why not? I ain't got it going. I'm getting ate up. Why not feed him and focus my energy more on defense? And then Paul Millsap, he had 10 points and 7 rebounds, 3 of 13 shooting. You know, that's not, he was killing all series. That's just not the game. You know, come up short in the game 7. And Jokic, this is what I mean by experience. Now, Jokic, he had 26 and 13, but he was 11 to 26 shooting. But the thing that makes him special is his passing. So Portland was like, you know what, you be aggressive, we score. But you ain't, these other guys, we ain't letting you do that. And he only finished with 2 assists. So they took away, exactly, they took away all their strengths and forced them, you know what I'm saying, to have to, you know, figure something else out, which they couldn't. They just ain't have enough experience. That's why they lost on their home court. That's why Portland's in the Western Conference Finals.
Well deserved too.
Yeah, no doubt.
On to one of the series in the East, Toronto and Philadelphia. I think everybody is not going to forget the 4 bounces on the rim. Mm-hmm. The big boy shot by Kawhi, mm-hmm. And just his overall game and willingness to want to get it done. Mm-hmm. While, you know, at the time you can see all of his teammates weren't. It didn't feel at the moment they were currently ready to seize the moment on the offensive end of the floor. Yeah. And I credit them because they did play defense, but, you know, they didn't try to force it either. You know, he brought them home. For Philadelphia, similar to the Denver thing, at points at the end of the game is just horrible. There's so many things, and then back to the defensive issue. And it's fun that we're seeing this playoffs. If the teams that really can't defend, they're in trouble. They're going home at a rapid rate. And like you said, we're watching a bunch of regular season superheroes exit the postseason very quickly because the regular season crap, that's cool for 82 games and that's wonderful. It's great, that's cute. It doesn't win this time of year. And for Philadelphia, it's absurd to me. You know, you guys are kind of at your best when that ball gets into the post at some point. And, you know, Embiid spent the whole game at the 3-point line, it felt like. And, I mean, that made it easier for Toronto defensively. Like, there was one play, I remember talking to you, you know, he had Kyle Lowry on him. And Lowry's able to get the strip. That's supposed to be barbecue chicken, or he's supposed to have to foul you. I mean, it's a disappointing loss for Philly, obviously, but for Toronto, I thought it was a big time win, especially for that franchise. We already know the weight that was on, you know, Masai for the trade that he made and everything. Looks like he knew what he was doing after all that. But you guys' thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. I probably watched that shot like 20 times because it was that good. For him to cap the season, the series off with a shot like that over Embiid, 4 bounces, whatever you want to call it, it was amazing. I think they finally have the power. You know, I feel like you said, like the last couple of seasons, you know, they would get this far and they couldn't get it done. They made the big trade for Kawhi, especially letting go of DeMar, who was the hometown hero for them. It was a difficult decision, but I'm sure everybody in Toronto right now is praising the decision because you can see the difference between it. I feel like even Kyle Lowry stepped up this year. I still don't feel like he always have had a great series over the past couple of years, but I do think this is one of his best ones that he's had over the last couple of years. It was just a great game, and like you said, it goes back to defense. It goes back to the fundamentals of the game. Even if you look at it, Toronto out offensive rebounded them 16-5. you know, Embiid being down there and everything, they were still getting all the offensive rebounds, putting them back up. And I feel like sometimes it's just the will to win and wanting to keep going. Because even Kawhi saying after the game, like, he felt like he didn't have a great game. He felt like he didn't shoot well, but he knew he had to do it. Like, he knew that he was the one that had to do it. So I think it's definitely well-deserved. I think hopefully, because one thing I had a slight issue with is I just thought Philly was too braggy. They were too out there, like, oh yeah, we gon', like, you know, arrogant. That's the word I'm looking for. I feel like they were too arrogant. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with being, you know, confident that you're gonna win, but I feel like they were very braggy and very arrogant, and I feel like that this is that one thing that's gonna humble them. You know, I feel like Joel's really gonna be able to sit back and look at this like, wow. You know, especially with all the video recording after the game that is on tape now. So I'm excited to see the series that's coming up next, to see Kawhi and Giannis going at it. It's going to be a great series.
Cardell?
I mean, if it was one series that kind of showed the difference between being a superstar and an all-star, it was this one. You know, it kind of reminded me of, you know, the Eastern Conference playoff battles back in the day. School being 92-90, ultra physical guys, banging, battling, you know, but talk about Joel Embiid, the reason why he can't post up consistently because he can't get in great shape because he can't stay on the floor. He can't practice. You know, I don't care how big you are. When that fourth quarter comes, you know, you huffing and puffing, you slow. Meanwhile, Kyle Lowry, he ain't gonna back down. He gonna give you everything he got, you know, when he's being posted up. But he's still in shape. He still can move quick and everything. You saw he ain't try to bang with him. He just baited him. And as Embiid tried to move, he used his quickness and knocked the ball loose, which was smart. And that's a product of being out of shape, because if Embiid was in shape, you know, he would have had good footwork, he'd have kept his balance, and he would have felt Kyle Lowry trying to get around him. He would have spent off him, had an easy dunk. That's why he can't sustain outside that one game where he went off. He can't really sustain a consistent effort on offense and defense because you could tell he was just tired. And anytime during possessions when Marc Gasol is beating you up and down the floor, that's not a good look, you know, when you're supposed to be the best center in the game. But really, it just came down. It was just too much Kawhi Leonard. I respect the fact that he said we gonna lose. I ain't leaving no bullets in the clip. And you know, he sure enough did that. He had 41, but it was on 16-39 shooting, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. But the thing that impressed me, despite how bad he shot, in the fourth quarter he had 15 points on 7-10 shooting and 1 turnover. You know what I'm saying, which includes that game winner. So when it mattered most, he was locked in. He got it done. Especially with his teammates, they was passing them shots that, man, it was like they wasn't even looking at the basket. They was like, yo, where are you? Help me. Here, get this, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I just like, I mean, he just showed the difference, man. And obviously bringing that Spurs DNA, he know what to do. You know, even Danny Green, you know, he had his off night or whatnot, but winning culture matters, man. People that know how to win, it's a thing, and people don't understand that. They don't value that. I remember NBA early in the series said, you know, that chemistry stuff doesn't matter as long as you got talent and everything. Like, I just shook my head. I'm like, that's why y'all gonna lose, dog. But when you say stuff like that, that tells me you don't really understand what that is. It does mean something.
I mean, it meant a lot, because I'm sorry to cut you off, but this felt, for the first time, like the past few postseasons, watching this version of the Raptors feels different than watching the other version.
They got a
There's
dog.
calm, you know what I'm saying?
No, they got a dude. They got a dude that can match up with anybody on any of them other dogs in the league, and they know that.
And play on
he's
both
proven
sides of the court.
And play on both sides of the court, and it's no fear. They know it. You can look through NBA history. This is why, you know, when we talk about the greatest players and all that, and they bring up, man, Jordan has Scottie Pippen. Yeah, but when he got to a certain point, it's the reason why Jordan was Jordan and Pippen was Pippen. And you see that with other guys. He got a couple All-Star. Kyle Lowry's a multi-time All-Star. Shockham's going to be one. But you could see the clear difference when it came time, when it was go time, we need to play, we need a bucket. Kawhi stepped up. And he even outplayed those other All-Stars that's been getting more hype and more praise on the other end. And they got 3 of them, and a borderline one in Tobias Harris. Sniper, a veteran sniper, and J.J. Redick that been through all types of playoff wars and stuff like that. So, you know, they had no business even being in the same stratosphere. Truth be told, Philly's more talented, but they're not the better team, as was proven. So, you know, sometimes these younger, like you said, being youth, like you talking about young, you gotta be humble, and you gotta really understand that these moments in the playoffs, they're not guaranteed next year. You see what I'm saying? Look at the Celtics, for example, which I know we're going to touch on.
Yeah.
You know, they took a hell of a step back, and after what Rozier was saying today, it is what it is, and we're going to touch on that. But I'm like, that's the thing about being young compared to somebody who has experience. When you got experience and you're on the other side, you realize we got to capitalize on this now because next year is not promised. Hell, your career may not be here next year. You might blow out your knee and be done. And y'all playing around like it's like everything is guaranteed. It's not guaranteed. Meanwhile, and not just that, other teams are hungry. They watching. They want to be in your position. They going to get better. They working out. You see what I'm saying? So the league is real, and if you don't give it the proper respect, you're not going to prepare properly, and you're going to get exposed. And that's exactly what happened.
All right, so you already mentioned Milwaukee, so we'll go ahead and get to Milwaukee, Boston before we finish it up. You know, the semifinals with Golden State, Houston, Milwaukee, Boston. Everyone made a big deal about the first game, and then after that, the MVP proved why he was MVP, and like you said, talking about opportunities and windows and whatnot. The Celtics went. If you look at took a snapshot at the beginning of the year. Oh my gosh, the team that they have back, they're adding Kyrie, they're adding Gordon, everything's going to be wonderful. So Giannis just snapped them, and now we don't know what's going to happen to them.
Mm-hmm.
You're literally in a position where Kyrie might bounce. Terry Rozier, listen to him, I know some people are upset with Rozier or whatever, but I can only imagine what it was like. Like he said, he didn't even say everything. I think there's a lot more that
He want to get off his chest.
But to sit through a situation like that, because you got to think about it. You had that group that got to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, right? Like that group, and then pretty much come back, and it's like, hey, you guys are here, but it's hard.
Yeah.
It's no turning that on and off. And for the Bucks, shout out to the Bucks. Thoroughly, it was one game, like you said, teams with a sense of urgency, teams with superstars. Did what a superstar did. That one back in. After that, yeah.
It was easy for them. It was like I was tired for the Celtics watching the games. Like it was easy once they they got through that first game. They figured out what they was doing. And Giannis adjusted so well, and he proved why he should be, in my opinion, MVP this year. He did everything he was supposed to do. He led the team. When the first game happened, he took credit, for whatever everybody was saying was wrong and everything like that. He stood up, he was a leader, and he took it, and he took that information, he went back to the drawing board, he fixed it, and he completely annihilated them for the remaining of the season. And just like you was just talking about, MB talking about, chemistry doesn't really matter, as long as you got talent. I mean, on paper, the Celtics have a lot of talent, but that chemistry wasn't on like it was last year. Like you saying with the changes, yeah, they added Gordon back, they got Kyrie back, they got all this extra talent, but the chemistry that they had last year was disrupted. And now they were back to working on that chemistry again. So that shows you how much important it is. And to look at from one season being in the Eastern Conference Finals to the next season, people thinking about they about to blow the whole team up and start all over probably, So like you said, shouts out to the Bucks. I think they said it was the first time they've been in the Eastern Conference Finals since like 2000.
Yeah, Ray Allen, Glenn Robinson.
Yeah, like that's a long time, and for them to grind as hard as they have and to put the team together they have, and the players that were on that team who have been in other situations that may not have performed well, because I will sit here and say I was never a huge George Hill fan, but I think he definitely proved himself this season. He did this series at least. He stepped up. He stepped up a lot. Eric Bledsoe had his up and down games, but he kind of focused in towards the end. And they're going to be a problem. It's going to be a good series. I definitely can't wait to see that one.
There's a lot of former guys that play with such and such superstar that shine this postseason. I'm not going to go there. Just stating facts.
Man,
Rodney Hood,
I'm just stating facts.
it's a lot of them.
I thought Rodney could have played basketball. I heard it tell it like the last couple of years.
It looked like it this year.
I mean, it's different when you playing with a superstar that don't separate themselves or put themselves above the team. They just like, I'm the leader, but
We here together.
yeah, but honestly, it's just the inner turmoil destroyed the Celtics before they even began it, and Greek Freak and those guys just put the nail in the coffin. Like, all right, we gonna get y'all up out of here. Y'all can start separating real quick. We ain't gonna prolong this. You know what I'm saying? 7 Bucks players had scored in double figures. That means there's no resistance at all. Giannis had the quiet 28 and 8. It was two steals, 2 blocks. It was just cruise control. It was easy. But I want people to kind of understand how dominant they were in Game 5. The Bucks out rebounded Celtics 58-48. They won the assist battle 27-19. Their field goal percentage was better, 44-31. They outshot the Bucks from 3, outshot the Celtics from 3, 31-17. There was really nothing, no area that the Celtics won in that game. And you could tell it was over early in the fourth quarter. You know, even Malcolm Brogdon, that first game back, he looking like he been there the whole time, just in rhythm, and that's just horrible. And that just goes back to what we saw earlier today. We gonna touch on it later in the rapid fire section, you know, with Terry Rozier and all that. But you know, I felt it was over when, you know, not KD, but Kyrie started saying stuff in the press that he did. Like, I think people got to put things in perspective. They be trying to put people above people because their talent, their superstar, how much they make, and I get it. But, you know, that doesn't necessarily make you a leader or a captain. The leader can be a veteran that don't even play.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? It's the guy that's accountable, that always shows up work, everybody respects. And when Kyrie was saying things like, man, these kids don't get it, I'm like, hold on, partner. Like, some of these kids, I understand, like, Tatum and them are younger, but you still got to look at all these dudes grown men. And some of these kids are your age or older. Like, who you talking about? And you see what I'm saying? They don't know. And I'm trying to lead these guys. And then, look, man, I'm going to make the best decision for me. That basically says you're not all the way invested. Why am I going to really try to go to war for you? And then naturally, what Terry Rozier was basically saying without saying it is, because Kyrie and Gordon Hayward getting paid so much money, how in the hell the basketball people can go up top to the owner and be like, look, I know this dude's getting paid $100-something million and he's sitting the bench, but this guy's outperforming him, so we got to play him more. The owner going to be like, maybe we need to make some moves, or I'm going to have to make some moves in the front office. Why am I paying this bench player that don't play? That matters. So, I mean, people got to put themselves in their shoes. Like, if you the owner, why you wouldn't want $100+ $200 million player sitting on the bench either. I don't care how bad he's playing. Like, get him out there. If nothing else, increase his trade value or something like something. And that's the business of basketball. That's why it's a tricky thing. So, you know, Rozier got lost in the shuffle. I'm not mad at him being honest. I wish he would have kind of, you know, been more strategic, waited a little bit, get your situation straight. Because now other teams gonna look at that and be like, hold up, homie, why would I bring you in? You know, you might do the same thing to us. And when you were given opportunities, you didn't perform the best yourself. You can say all you want, but it'd be different if when you got your opportunities, you was hooping. Then we can be like, I see what you're saying, but it was some games you was playing like trash. So that, and it's no excuse, because if you look at it, bothered Tatum, you can see. But you saw Jaylen Brown just hooping. You're like, man, the hell with all that. But he a different cat. I know. I mean, I covered him how he was mature then. Like, he just like, man, he was mentally tough. Like, whatever, I'm gonna do me. Like, y'all could be tripping all you want. Yeah, so he balled. Like, he was the one going at Giannis, dunking on him and stuff like that. Everybody else, I mean, you know, but it just goes back to the culture. They ain't had no leadership, and you know, the coach Stevens, he got to take some L's. Sometimes you just got to coach the team, though. You can't, if it ain't working, it ain't working. Then it gets to a point that I got to do what's best for the team. Y'all got to respect it. If you truly team players, you will respect it. If you don't, then we know you're the problem. So that's all that was, man.
All right, lastly, Houston once again falls to Golden State.
Kick me off the court again, boy.
Take my ball and go home.
I'm just sick of Houston. I don't really have too much to say. No, but I'm just like, every year they keep talking, they keep chirping, and come on, man.
The loudest one in the room is what?
The weakest.
Again, to continue this trend of defense, all that money y'all spent on that team, can nobody get a stop? 1 through 17, but y'all kicked Melo off the joint, off the ASAP, and try to make it like it was an issue with him. But meanwhile, while y'all were, you know, your wonderful analytics say mid-ranges don't matter, that would have been really helpful. But hey, whatever works. I just don't have time for them. And I heard their owner talking like they're gonna be aggressive. Like, I don't understand. Like, do you realize once you pay Chris Paul, who's gonna take that contract?
He's just talking, man. He was
you know what
emotional.
I'm saying? Like, does he not remember how much money he gave Chris Paul?
He's emotional. That's why you got to take time away and just relax, dog. It's just, look, man. And Steph Clay and Draymond reminded everybody who they were, why they are who they are.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Charles Barkley, because he was the main one. He was like, "Oh, KD out. It's a wrap. None of them can do anything."
But you know what? Like, my thing with Golden State is kind of like, y'all gotta make up your mind. Like someone just like make up your mind. Are they good? You know, the three of them, are they good? Or is it only because of KD? And then also, if KD's not like up there in terms of the player in the league, like you gotta make up your mind to decide. Like it's just getting annoying because it's just convenient how like to trash KD, then we acknowledge how good, you know, the three of those guys are, right? But to lift up KD, you gotta down the other guys who won championships.
Like they all are like, I don't understand. How I look at it is those three are great. They are all stars. They're gonna be get their jerseys retired, all that great stuff. KD to me does elevate them as a team, but he's I mean they're a team. You know, I feel like people forget that because how dominant KD can be. But a lot of times, like to be on a team, like you said, sometimes you got to take a back seat. And it's okay. That doesn't make you less of a player because you're taking a back seat to this person. That's just how the team dynamic is working. It goes back to what we keep talking about, chemistry. They have good chemistry as a team. They can work. They worked KD into their chemistry, and KD just happens to be that person that's going to be, you know, in the forefront. But that is not, to me, downplay their abilities at all. As we can see, they know if they got to do it, they can do it. Because obviously, it's been done previously before KD got there. But, I mean, Steph's still showing you, like, why Steph is Steph. Why Clay is Clay. Draymond is going to go hard every single play that he can. If he don't get another technical and get ejected, you know, he's going to be there. And KD, to me, is just like the cherry on top. He's going to be there as well. So, like, I don't understand how anybody counted them out just because KD was out. I thought it was going to be a tougher game, yeah, maybe. But I never thought that they were out of it.
Look, man, they got KD, like Draymond said, to deal with LeBron. It's just as simple as that. And, you know, Kawhi would have been in the way, too, because he had him on the ropes before he got hurt. So they got him for the monster wings that they knew they would have had to get through. And in return, they gave up some of their depth. So that's what it is again. But I just feel like people down there because they realize their favorite team or said favorite player have no shot in hell beating them. And it's just they gotta nitpick something to try to discredit them instead of embracing them. The thing I love about the Warriors, they're basketball players. It's one thing for you to be nice and have the team cater to you, what you are. It's another thing when everybody kind of sacrifice a portion of their game to make that thing work.
Exactly.
Steph could easily be like, nah, dog, you know, I know you KD and all. KD's the bigger mismatch. Go ahead, rock off, we gonna feed off you. But then there's plenty of games where KD might take 9 shots and be like, yo, Steph, like, I remember game 5 before he got hurt, Steph was passing the shots. He's like, shoot it. Like, shoot it, dog. Like, that's what makes them special in their ball movement. And then, you know, Clay eating off of that's what you call a basketball team. That's why I always say
Top to bottom, yep.
People forget that it's harder to coach and like harder to coach a lot of talent. It's harder because for one, these guys know they're nice and they believe in what they do. And now you asking them to sacrifice. So the first sign of adversity or if it don't work, 9 times out of 10, they're going to revert back to what they know works. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to stay consistent and disciplined. Like, nah, we're going to keep plugging. And with these guys, it was seamless. KD fit in there, and it been killing ever since. And then you got to look at also the underrated aspect of their team, their defense, man. It's just, I'm gonna throw some things out you so people can really understand. This is what makes the Warriors really special. It ain't just they outscoring people. Their defense hold people down. Now, the Rockets supposed to be high power. Without KD, high power is supposed to be unstoppable. The Warriors held the Rockets scoreless for the last 3:56 in the fourth quarter. And the score was tied at 9:97 at the 6:31 mark. So Houston didn't score again until it was like 2:53 left in the game. That allowed Steph to get his shots up, get to the free throw line, and that's what got them the 102-97 lead, and then it was over after that. Houston didn't score again, my fault. They didn't score again to the 2:47 mark. In the final 5 minutes, Steph Curry reminded folks of who they were. He scored 16 points from 75% shooting from the field, 2 or 3 from deep, while being perfect from the free throw line, 8-8. The Rockets as a team scored 16 points on 46% shooting from the field, 4 for 8 from 3, and has 0 free throw attempts because they want to jack threes. They don't want to attack. James Harden had 12 points in the fourth quarter, but he had 4 turnovers. When it came down to it, they could not stop Steph. They could not stop Iguodala when he hit 5 threes. They couldn't stop Clay didn't need. I think Clay only scored 3 points in the entire second half. He scored all his points in the first half. So it wasn't that. Kevin Looney, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 4 offensive. Livingston, 11 points and 6 of 8 shooting. Iguodala, like I just talked about him. You know, Draymond, near triple-double, 8 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. Their bench came in and gave them quality minutes. They didn't turn the ball on. They didn't make mistakes. They shut them up. That's a team, man. And that's the difference. That's why they ended it. There's no reason without KD on your home floor, you shouldn't have made that a Game 7 type of deal. And that's why I'm just like, I don't want to hear nothing about Harden and Chris Paul and all that, especially after the little petty stuff Chris Paul did. They deserve that, and that made it even more satisfying. Like, yeah. And that's why if you heard Steph talking about kicking me off the court again, boy, it was because Chris Paul literally got him kicked off planned shooting time the night before when he was trying to, you know, just go in the gym, get some early work in. Chris Paul purposely playing the same shooting time. So obviously the home team got priority and it kicked Steph off. I've never heard that in NBA circles. I heard Steven Jackson say that has never happened. Plenty of guys do that. And that showed me right there they was beat. Because if you got to resort to that little pettiness, that means you don't really believe you can win. Because your mentality should be like, do what you do. Stay in there all night. We still going to bust your ass. But they ain't do that, so it is what it is.
All right, so a couple quick thoughts on the next round. We got Milwaukee, Toronto, and then Golden State, Portland starts tonight. So a couple quick thoughts on each one.
Toronto and the Bucks. I couldn't get it out. Man, I think I want to see how well Siakam plays. You know, I feel like he's going to be that kind of X factor-ish because they're gonna be all over Kawhi. They're gonna be all over Kyle. They're gonna pay attention to Siakam because of how well he's played this year. But he has to be on. Like, he can't have an off game. I think he has to be on those times when they're, you know, focusing really heavy on Kawhi and even Kyle. So I think he definitely, and Serge has to step up too. You know, they have to be able to deal with Giannis. And, you know, like they said in the last series, build the wall, quote unquote, to see how that works out. But I'm so excited to see both of these series, honestly. Like, I just really want to be a fan because I feel like for the first time in a while, like, two on both sides of the playoffs and the conference finals, like, they're two tough teams. It's just going to be amazing.
Cardell?
As far as the Bucks and Raptors, I just feel like the Raptors bench got to match the Bucks bench, or that thing is going to be over. I expect Shotgun to get most of the time on Greek Freak, Kawhi helping, but I know Kawhi going to get on them in crunch time. It's not even about the starting five. I think they're going to battle, do what they need to do. But the way the Raptors bench have been performing, it ain't looking good, and especially the way the Bucks bench is. They're deep. They got the home court advantage. They're tough. And like you said, they just dealt, honestly, with a more talented team, and they took them apart. So they're not going to be intimidated by them, you know what I'm saying? And you know, if they perform, then it's going to really come down to the superstars. And that's when we going to really see who's who, you know, between Kawhi and, you know, Greek Freak. And this is what makes the league fun, you know what I'm saying? The top dogs going to eventually have to see each other to determine things. In our West, you know, KD injuries, you know, is definitely an X factor. You know, I ain't going to sit up here and act like it's not. But, you know, Dame and CJ, they got to play all world to beat the Warriors.
Yeah.
The Warriors have the home court. They got to deal with some monsters on the other side that have more experience within them at this stage at home. They're going to still be motivated because they feel like, oh, y'all really just going to still dismissing us, and they're going to be pissed off. And you still got to deal with the X factors like, you know, Sean Livingston, Iguodala, you know, even Bogut up front and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know Portland's bench and their youngsters that's coming off the bench. I don't know if they're ready for this primetime action. You know what I'm saying? So, and they guard and their leaders gonna have their hands full. So, and then eventually, you know, KD's gonna come back, and then that's just pretty much it. So, I you know, obviously I got the Warriors going, but they got a punch of chance if CJ and Dame can play all world. When I mean play all world, like 30 each. Yeah.
Every game.
All around, playing great defense, making stuff and them work.
Holding their counterparts.
Yeah, making them inefficient. That's a hard task for 7 games, you know.
Because my biggest, and just my little 2 cents on this, my biggest issue is concern for Portland rather is that I think Draymond's gonna really like just break this series.
Their front.
Because we saw them, you know, they went to that Curry and Dre pick and roll late against Houston and what it did to them. Man,
they couldn't stop.
Yeah, And I think this is something where in this series, with the type of bigs, because Bogut couldn't play last series, right? They got a little bit more lumbering bigs in Portland, so he could play a little bit more. You don't have, it's not right, but you really just have to focus on containing those two. The others really have to participate for Portland. Otherwise, like you said, they've been here before, and the other part, like you said, and I agree with you wholeheartedly, they literally, for a team that I guess would need motivation while going for a three-peat, literally got handed it with everybody talking crazy last year, or last go around with Oracle and all that. So it's gonna be nuts.
And just one more thing, I think the Warriors bench winning that game, I think their confidence is like they alert, like Bell and all those guys. Even Quinn came to the game, he ain't have to score a lot, but he ain't making many mistakes. And he got key stops on Chris Paul. When Chris Paul got going, you look at Bell, Looney. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Looney with Zach Collins and all that. Like he can match those guys. So Rodney Hood might do a little something, but depends on how he come back from his injury. But he got, like I said, he got to deal with some Draymond. Like I think Draymond just gonna cause havoc.
Yeah, I think he gets to you don't have to worry about that Harden Capella lob thing, that the stress that
Yeah.
puts
Oh yeah.
on the defense, because that's just like you gotta sit and you gotta wait. It's just a really crazy game of cat and mouse.
And no disrespect, Enos Cantor,
Yeah,
one of the worst defensive.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna
say.
say. It was really gonna be at, because Draymond gonna be all up in between all of
I
that.
think he's gonna have a dumb series.
Yeah, and like you said with Dame and CJ, like Dame can't have an off game like he's been having. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I feel like CJ's been, a little bit more consistent and zoned in, at least in the last series. Dame has had a couple of off games or some slow starts. He can't have slow starts. He can't have an off game. He got to be locked in from the very, very beginning that they have a chance. Because, like you said, that's a lot of firepower on the other side, and then you come down to experience as well. It's going to be tough for them to get past that. And like you said, having home court advantage helps as well. It's going to be a tough series for them.
All right, Cardell, I know you wanted to touch on real quick just with the NBA Combine this week.
Right.
NBA, did you lead elite camp?
Yeah, the G League camp, concluded today, and they announced their invites to the actual combine where you get to go to war against the guys going to get drafted. And it was Iowa State's Mario Shayok, Ole Miss Terrence Davis, Tulsa's Daquan Jeffries, Nevada's Cody Martin, Miami's DeJuan Hernandez, Central Florida's Taco Falls 7'6" center, Auburn's Jared Harper, Iowa's Tyler Cook, Syracuse O'Shea Brissett, and Mississippi State's Reggie Perry. Couple Portsmouth guys that I shouted out when I came back that I said stood out, Mario Shayok and Daquan Jeffries. I'm happy that they're getting a chance to go up there and make their case, especially Shayok kind of been on the radar. He was at Virginia before, but Jeffries coming from Tulsa, not known for producing NBA guys or whatnot, and he's getting it the hard way the way he did. He performed at Portsmouth, making the all-Portsmouth team, and then on top of that, going to the G League camp, showing out, getting an invite to the combine. I expect to see him. I mean, he wowed me from the beginning, and I just want to make sure it's fluke. That's why I stayed at Portsmouth and just really watched him, and he was consistent. And I think he's ready to step in and contribute to the NBA team now because his two-way capability. So he do his thing up there. It's a possibility. I know he's probably in that second round area, but if he go to work, he can get sneak in late in the first round.
Second round where good teams do their best work.
And and I know the combine list without we just went ahead and that'll be posted. But like 5 guys I'm kind of keeping an eye on this week is Brian Bowen. He played for the Sydney Kings. You remember he was the guy that signed out of high school. Louisville got caught up in the federal case with all the investigators paying players and whatnot. Then he was, obviously he couldn't play. He was eligible, so he went and played with the Sydney Kings to get some seasoning. I'm excited to see what he do with it. Now he got his opportunity. Lewis King from Oregon. I watched him a couple times. He was up and down. I'm not sure. I want to see more now that he gets a chance to kind of spread his wings and do what he does. Jalen Leck from Brewster Academy. I saw him for the first time last year when a young fellow played in the New York Nike Pro City, and he was dominating pros. Super athletic, got a lot of Russell Westbrook in him, but he's definitely more of a 2. He's not a point, even though he's about 6'3", 6'4". He decided to skip college and go straight to the league. So I want to see what he does with it. Mie Oni from Yale, underrated guy. People don't know, but I'm just going to say this. Coach K said he was one of the best guards in the country last year. Coach K says you gotta stay focused on it. We're gonna see what he does. And Kevin Porter out of USC did a lot of damage throughout the year, and then injuries caught up to him and all that. So, you know, the thing I like about these camps and these workouts, they get to show you stuff where playing in the system, they may not be able to show you their all-around game. Now they could just explore their game and do what they do. And then you like, oh, I didn't know you had that. That'll fit. I see why you should be drafted here. Or maybe like, you really don't have that. You're a product of the system. You should drop. So those are 5 plays I'm gonna look at.
I think the most important thing you talk about is just consistency when going through these things.
Exactly.
It's huge.
And one more thing for you, especially in this advice to all you prospects out there, ducking the rec and workouts and stuff don't really help you when you're trying to get a job in the league, get drafted, man. Like, they respect guys who go through the grind, because that shows you hungry, because guess what the NBA season is? It's a grind. So if you ain't trying to deal with this, you know, I should question if you ready for the real thing.
I think
All
that's
right, well,
only fair.
the Wizards not getting the number 1 pick, just so y'all know.
Who got it?
It's so right now our Celtics are 14, the Heat is 13, Hornets is 12, the Minnesota is 11, Atlanta is 10, Wizards are 9, Atlanta is 8, Chicago is 7, and they are currently getting ready to say 6.
So that means the Lakers in the top 4.
Yep, top 4. So Phoenix is 6. Here it comes, guys. Phoenix is 6.
We about to take a quick break.
AD's on the way.
You watching the Focus TV. Welcome back to the Focus TV. Okay, real quick, DC United update here. They beat Sporting Kansas City 1-0 Sunday night. They had a couple of quality chances in the first half with Wayne Rooney. It's ever dangerous in set pieces. Had a free kick parried away. Birnbaum just ended up wide open in their opponent's box several times. He had a header that was stopped as well. Bellamy, one of his huge 4 saves came in the 49th minute. Birnbaum again got another header in the box on the corner. It was blocked. But DC United did break through in the 77th minute when Wayne Rooney found Paul Areola out wide. Areola, because of his speed, always has defenders on his heels. Used that to his advantage. The defender gave him some space in case he had to give Paul a step or two, because he's probably going to go by you. And he simply cut it back, took a touch, and unleashed a beautiful shot past the keeper. I mean, it was a gorgeous goal. Bellamy had, again, I told you guys he had 4 saves. That gives him his 6th clean sheet of the season. DC United hits the road tomorrow night to take on Toronto. So they're keeping pace atop the Eastern Conference in the process. AAU.
Yeah, we back for week 2. The AAU spotlight and team spotlight. Player of the week this week, got to give it to Cam Thomas. Plays for Boo Williams and Oak Hill in high school. He just torched the whole Session 2 out in Indianapolis. In the first game, they beat Team United out of North Carolina 105-76. Thomas posted 27 points at 10-16 shooting and 10 rebounds. Then played Team Takeover, powerhouse out of our area. Boo Williams beat Takeover 78-73. Thomas finished with 27 points. And then they went around, played Team Durant right after, another local team out of Maryland. Local powerhouse, the AAU team, they making a lot of noise. If you remember, Team Durant beat Takeover and down in Atlanta already. And they destroyed Durant 101-83. Thomas was unstoppable. He posted 34 points on 9-17 shooting. Got to the line 17 times, made 16 of them. Had 8 rebounds and 4 assists. And in a close 79-75 loss to the Oakland Soldiers, Thomas scored 25 points and had 6 rebounds. And obviously the team I'm going to go with is Boo Williams. They finished this session with another 3-1 record, putting them 6-2 overall in the EYBL. Then a 4-way tie for first place in the C division. Boo will look to continue his winning ways in Dallas for the session 3, which is May 24th to the 26th.
All right. Well, we talked about Jamal Hayward a little bit earlier with, this is week 46 of this part of our show. So this week, Jamal Hayward at 9.450, going to be demonstrating the breakdown of a pro hop into a defender, fadeaway shot. Again, it's a breakdown of a pro hop into a defender, fadeaway shot. We're going to catch you guys on the other side of the break for rapid fire. Welcome back to the Focus TV. All right, Cardell, rapid fire, man. We got time for a few questions right now.
Man, where should we? We gonna start with Terry, man. Scary Terry, though.
Of course.
No, he was on ESPN, and they asked him if they keep the roster intact, will he stay? He said, "Nah, I might have to go." He said, "I put up with a lot this year. I said what I said after the season. I think we all know I'm not trying to step into that again. Just obviously in the shadow, some guys, the ball was either in Kyrie or Gordon Hayward's hands most of the time. So I feel like either Terry Rozier is just in the corner or on the bench, one of those two. I'm out there for a little bit or half of my minutes, so I'm really not being at my position. I'm not being Terry Rozier because I have to adjust to how Kyrie plays. And then when Kyrie comes out, Gordon Hayward comes in, I feel his usage is super high. So a lot of plays get called for him. Them treating Gordon and Kyrie, I want to say different than everybody else, but I feel like they just treated them like they were just on that level where there were no adjustments that could be made because they are who they are. We never figured it out after that. Rozier will be a restricted free agent this summer. Boston will still dictate where he plays next season. Thoughts on that?
Real quick.
And the number 1 pick goes to
Karma is so funny.
Pelicans?
Yes.
Your man David Griffin
AD, just go ahead and stay,
David
bruh.
Griffin has to be laughing right now.
Just stay, bruh. Just
Right.
stay. Don't leave.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, Lakers
Nah,
were
you know why?
Lakers were 4.
That's Lee hooked them up for all that drama this year. That's what that
The Lakers were
they gonna blame LeBron. God damn.
The Lakers were 4, the Knicks were 3, Grizzlies were 2, and Pelicans were 1. I said Minnesota, my bad, previously, but yeah, the Grizzlies were 2. And the New Orleans Pelicans will be the new home of Zion Williamson.
Hey,
But
your move, Clutch.
Scary Terry. I mean, like you said previously, before we got into rapid fire, I do kind of wish you would have said it in a more political way to not mess up his chances of anywhere else, especially with the last fact you say, him still being a restricted free agent and they are going to be in control of where he goes. That's something he might want to keep to himself, but I mean, we know nowadays they all gonna say what they want to say. It appears they don't really care about the backlash, but I don't hate it, but I don't love it.
Yeah, the only thing I'm mad at is that, he might have hurt his pockets for saying that. That's the only part of this I have any issue with is you're a restricted free agent, sir. Like, you might have damaged your pockets and, your reputation at this time when you're trying to get landed. Like, it's a business. Someone's definitely going to find a way to cut some dollars off your deal because of this. So,
I feel the same way. I just feel like he hurt his pockets. I feel like he hurt his chances of teams, even if he goes to another team, them kind of really buying all in with him
Yeah,
being the
it's
guy.
not a clean slate anymore.
Because, that's part of being a leader too. It's a time for everything. So once that's secure, hey, then you do it. Like, you see how Magic handled it? He quit, right? He ain't say nothing. He waits till all the drama came out. Then all of a sudden you just see he's going to be a special guest on ESPN Monday. You know what I'm saying? Then he's going to come up there and then he's going to tell his side. So it's just funny. You got to be strategic in this type of business and everything. But I'm not going to knock him for being innocent, especially when, what we do, how, players really say nothing but with saying everything. They just don't say nothing. They're not honest. You know what I'm saying? And not that I'm the type that you look for drama, because I don't care about it. I'm always be a hooper at heart. I feel like some things should just stay in the locker room.
Yeah.
That's just real. So, but don't talk to us like we stupid either. We can clearly see it was drama and all season with the Celtics, man. Y'all talent kind of got y'all, carried y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I think he just had enough, because he had to sit back, other players in the media killing him, killing the team, these kids. Like, I really would have had a problem with that. Like, on me, nigga, we the same age. Like, who you talking about? Grown man here. We ain't kids. I don't care if you won the ship. That don't mean nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? Keep the respect where it need to be. And that's the thing about being the leader. And, that's where I feel like the organization, the coaching, and all that, it kind of got in the way with going to Hayward thing. Give him some time, but if he ain't responding, you gotta coach the team how it deserves to be treated. And like, one thing I noticed Terry Rozier said that they didn't put in the quote was, in practice, shoot-arounds, they would talk about doing one thing, but getting the game, it'd be totally different. And that pisses any player off, though, because when you preparing mentally and getting your game ready for one thing, then you get in this totally, and you just out there trying to catch up. It's like, what's this? That irks you, and then you lose trust, and when you lose trust,
Yeah, it's a wrap.
That was an important part of his quote that conveniently got left out many times today. Go ahead, what's next? What you got for us?
well, I had one about the draft, so no need to put that, because that ain't had the Knicks ain't get the number one pick. So we gonna touch on some, WNBA. The Atlanta Dream announced that Angel McCoughtry's status for the season is uncertain as she continues to recover from a serious knee injury. Atlanta opened training camp this week, and their coach Nikki Collins said Thursday that McCoughtry could miss the full season. We are prepared to be without her for the entire season. That's the approach I went into free agency. We couldn't really wait on her. We had to be prepared. McCoughtry's 32. She's being evaluated month to month, strength test to strength test. She has good range of motion in knee, but it still has a lot of strength to do, building to do. And she stuffed her torn ligaments in her left knee August 7th, so it's not as bad as ACL, but it's still the same type of recovery time. So it could be around that time when she just stepped back on the court for the first time. That's pretty much the majority of the season. And like she said, she's older. You got to take it delicately with that type of injury. So what are your thoughts as far as I know Atlanta pushed the Mystics to the brink, but the Mystics have gotten stronger talent-wise on paper. What are your thoughts on that?
Atlanta's still going to be hell to deal with.
Yeah.
Regardless of Angel being there. I like Coach Colleen's approach. I think it's the right thing to do. Is if that's like a luxury, it's kind of like similar to Boogie would go to State to a degree. Like what the injury was, you never counted on him being there, right? But if he's there, sure, why not? Yeah, you're gonna use him. But it's still a young enough team. They're gonna continue to develop. It opens the door for a big opportunity for one of those players on the wing, for sure, to step into some big shoes, obviously. But yeah, I think that's the right approach. But it doesn't diminish how I feel about them at all.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that, like you said, I think it does leave the door open for somebody else to step in and take her, to fill her shoes for however long they need her there. And, it's a good opportunity for them as well. And with her being 32, your body don't lie to you no more. It ain't going to do what it can't do. And if she needs that time to recover, she's going to need to take it. And I do agree with the approach. You have to go into the season with the mentality of the people that are going to be there. If you don't know, you can't depend on it. So I applaud the coach for having that type of mentality to do that as well.
The same. They're gonna be pissed. The Dream. They're gonna be pissed. They're gonna be angry. They're gonna be there. I know she's tough, but like you said, she's at the age and all the wear and tear. and the wear and tear, you gotta move different. You can't just try to bounce back quick on some Adrian Peterson and come back.
Especially for women, though. Like, especially women. I don't know what the scientific, literature is on it, but women suffer ACL and knee injuries way more frequently than men do, and it takes them longer to recover. Just that's just the way it's. Like, I've played sports my whole life. I've been blessed to never have that injury, but I know so many girls who have torn ACLs 3 times. You only got 2 knees. That means they did it twice in 1 knee. I've known guys that have never really had that issue. Not saying that no guys have ever torn ACL, of course, but it's something behind that. So I really think she needs to, rehab, focus on that. And, if her body can recuperate from that, she still have a spot there, because obviously they want her.
And she's a superstar. I just feel like she's kind of, unless somebody develops that we don't know that's coming. She's like their Kawhi. She's the one that kind of closes it. So we have to see with that.
I'm sorry. I think the person who makes the most of it and takes that jump can be Brittany Sykes.
Maybe scoring wise, but all around playmaking and stuff, I think that's more Tiffany Hayes.
Yeah.
I think she's the one that kind of got it. But we'll see. It might be one of the bigs. It's just somebody they know they got to step up. And luckily for them, they used to having that. So that's it. All right. Joe Flacco, oh boy. He said he doesn't think mentoring a young passer, rookie quarterback, coach said coach is the biggest part of his job description. He said, listen, I have so many things to worry about. I'm trying to go out there and play good football. I'm trying to go out there and play the best football in my life. As far as the time constraint and all that stuff, I'm not worried about development guys or any of that. That is what it is. I hope he does well. I don't look at that as my job. My job is to go win football games for this football team. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that was one of the most honest things anybody could say, because in reality, it's the truth. That's how that and it has to be like that. You can't be focused on your replacement. That's how it feels to them. Like this, I'm trying to help somebody that's going to eventually try to replace me. Like, that's not his job. Honestly, that's the coaching staff's job. They're supposed to develop him and make him a better player. If the only way that I can see it as him being a mentor or helping him along is for him to play well. He has to play well so that the person that's behind him can see how it's done, and he can maybe model himself after that. But his main priority, especially coming from Baltimore after an injury season, coming to Denver after everything they've gone through with quarterbacks in the last couple of years, he can't be worried about that. He got to be focused, and I don't blame him at all for being honest about it.
Yeah, there was also a little, like the Terry Rozier thing, there was a little bit more on that quote that was kind of left out too with Flacco. But what he said, there's nothing wrong with that. He was also like, that's what you have a quarterback coach for. Him being in the room, that's going to help. Him being around me while I'm going through my reps. Like, he pretty much said, yes, I need to worry about what I have to do, which I do agree with. That's not his job description. But again, there is, the mentoring is going to happen. It just might not be some, hey, come with me. It's
going to be, he can get a watch.
And honestly, I'm like old school, man. You the youngin'. You need to go seek the thing. But it's a sensitive topic because he basically just got bumped for a rookie quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So to expect that, and like I said, the NFL is ruthless. You be here, be done. You know what I'm saying? So he got to prove. He got to show like you still relevant. Oh, this could be his last shot at being in the NFL, making that kind of paper. So, I respect that it's real, and I just think, that's why I'm not mad at Rozier. We gotta get away from this. Sometime you think like it's a place and time for everything, but one thing I personally just hate when people insult my intelligence when I know it's what it is, and you gonna sit up here and say that politics stuff for politics, man. Like, keep it real, and that's where you get respected. So, my thing is, like you said, if he ball out, Youngin will learn, and he'll be fine and stuff like that. And if he don't ball out, guess what? Youngin gonna get his opportunity sooner or later anyway. So, simple as that.
It's really that simple. As always, gonna implore you guys to get over to findsmag.com, mymonosports.com. We'll see you guys right here next week, same time, same place. Focus TV.